Hey, thanks for joining me. Hope you're doing well. Earlier this morning, I walked around downtown Detroit and noticed occult symbols that I hadn't seen before. For those of you in Detroit, I recommend you see this for yourself. The downtown layout makes it so the city of Detroit is very strange and satanic, to say it nonetheless. Judge Woodward was instrumental in creating the layout downtown. He admits he was inspired by George Washington's use of sacred geometry. And as you see, the setup of Detroit is pretty unnecessary. This is set up for specific reasons. Campus Martius is the center of the downtown area. The heart of a pentagram is formed here when seen from aerial view. The fountain in Campus Martius is the black cube of Saturn. The famous spirit of Detroit is a depiction of Prometheus, known as the light bearer. Lucifer is also known as the light bearer. The spirit is holding a light in his left hand. The left-hand path is another name for the satanic path. He's holding a family in his right hand, and the adults are worshiping him. Notice the baby looking down. This is symbolic that while the adults are completely mesmerized and indoctrinated, the baby hasn't yet been a part of this worship, but he will once he grows up. The light resembles Saturn. You see the ring of Saturn right there, and it's gold. Gold rays are being shot into it. The royal reptilians throughout the ages had an affinity for gold because they knew how powerful it is for building Saturn's energy. These crests I saw in the back. I looked up the phrases Speramus Meliora and Resurgit Seneribus, and they mean we hope for better things and it will rise from the ashes. What rises from ashes? The phoenix bird. The phoenix bird is a symbol of Lucifer. Many occultists believe that the phoenix is a symbol of Lucifer, who is cast down in flames and who they think will one day rise triumphant. I'll also note that we hope for better things isn't what it sounds like. Things are material, and hoping for more material is at odds with the divine plan of our spirits made of love. This hope isn't benevolent. The county of Wayne seal is also behind the spirit of Detroit. It shows a man and an Indian shaking hands. The man's arm and hand isn't there, instead it's a scorpion. I was blown away by this. Scorpions are symbols of Satan and his power. Scorpions also have venom, and as we know, the Indians were treated like complete shit by the Europeans who came here. So although it says freedom of man, they're talking about the anti-freedom Satan or Saturn brings in through order and destruction. In front of Hart Plaza, we have the Labor Legacy landmark Transcending. It's an arc that is a stargate. Stargates resemble the ring of Saturn. This is Saturn worship. The word transcending contains trance and sending. There's also a Stargate in the center of Hart Plaza, and interestingly enough, the Underground Railroad memorial in front is titled The Gateway. Let's talk about the lamps near the transcending landmark. There's no reason the lamps need to be shaped in this ridiculously complex way, and it's intentional. Throughout all of this Saturn worship, we're still given signs of the way out of this matrix through the center of the dish. There's the dish, there's the footstool that this plane is sitting on, there's the astral light, and there's the X which marks the spot of the way out. The rings of Saturn surround this because our plane is encased in Saturn worship. I'd like to point out to those thinking, oh, it's just a light. If we can agree on one thing, there's no reason any of this extra stuff has to be here. It's a complex design hiding the truth in plain sight. Across the street from Hart Plaza is the statue of a siren. Sirens, as we know, lure men in with their beauty. It sits in front of a banking building, symbolic of luring all of us in with the deception of materiality. Just around the corner, I saw this light, and it struck me as very odd. At the center on top, it shows the astral light surrounded by the movement of Jesus the Sun, just like a Christmas tree. I talk about that in my other videos. In front of Grand Circus Park, there's two pentagram obelisks. This one is built on the black cube of Saturn. I forgot to take a photo of the other one. In ancient Egypt, obelisks were often built in pairs. I could go on, but this is just part one of occult symbols in Detroit. I'll talk about more at Campus Martius, the street lamps, sewage seals, and garden bed cases in another video. I just couldn't believe all this was in front of me this whole time. And if you're in Detroit, you'll probably never look at downtown the same way. So until next time, thanks for watching. I love you all.